Good morning. It's really early. This is a reflection on lesson 299. Oh my God, 299. We're almost at 300. In A Course in Miracles, it says, "My eternal holiness abides in me." I think it says eternal. My eternal holiness abides in me. Maybe it doesn't say that. Anyway, my voice still hasn't woken up. I just started pushing play because I've got an early morning. I get to go to the dentist this morning's dentist, and I'm excited. So I just love a good teeth cleaning, don't you? Oh, it feels so good. So this one made me think about, okay, what is holiness? And to me, it means like sacred, beyond knowing, awe-inspiring, magical in the way that I don't know how it works. This whole, whatever this is, both physical and then spiritual, beyond the physical. Like, I love not knowing. I can just like think about what goes on inside my body and be amazed that it works, and that I'm 48 years old and it's still working. And I think about my heart and I'm like, how many beats has it beated in my whole life? And it's still going. Like, what? And my cells are doing cell things, and they know when to take in stuff and when to keep stuff out, and when to die, when to replicate, when to become other types of cells, like when my bones need more calcium and when my blood needs more calcium for other purposes. Like, oh man, it was so fun going through anatomy class in massage school, because I'm like, every day my mind was being blown. I'm like, oh my God. Probably because I was older when I went through it. So I lived with this mystery, and then to like learn just how mysterious it really is, even though when you take a class like that, it tries to make it all sciencey. I was listening to a fascia podcast, surprise, surprise. And it was two women talking about fascia and just going deeper than the scientific explanation, but then always grounding it back in the scientific research and just saying like, yeah, our whole way of science is about breaking things down to their tiniest aspects, labeling them, describing them, and then moving along. And so with fascia, it's not just finally they even know what fascia is. Like finally it has a name. It's just been the stuff they cut away to get to the muscles and organs, right? Now it's like, holy shit, be careful. You can't just go ripping through that. It's like the nervous system. You wouldn't just slice and cut through the nervous system, right? They weren't talking about this, but I think about it. Like, I think of it as sacred. It communicates faster than the nervous system. It changes and molds and it restricts. And that's a lot of the work I do with people, is trying to get it more pliable again, healthier. So I think about what I do is not just massage for muscles. In fact, I'm more interested in fascia. So that's why I don't just rip through people, I'm more gentle. So I think like this podcast was talking about how, yeah, in the past we've labeled it like microtubules and like all these tiny structures. And then you think about fascia has so many types, from firm to liquid. And we so far have not been talking about it that way. It is literally everything in our body that is not organ or muscle. And I'm like, man, so even the extracellular matrix is really fascia. Everything that is not those other bigger structures is fascia, down to the micro level. And that's why it's so fascinating. And it is a connection to our higher self. It is fascinating because it's what stores all of I think of it like the subconscious system of the body. Like it's taking in it, whatever we eat, it gets stored there. There's stories how, and I've seen it myself in trainings, like in cupping, it stores stuff for so long. So if you feel this, you're not crazy if you go to a doctor and they can't explain why you don't feel healthy. You're not crazy. It might have something to do with what's being stored in your fascia. Like, for example, this girl started getting work on her fascia because she was having like chronic pain. No explanation. They finally did enough work where the fascia loosened up enough and the stuff came to the surface and started coming. She started getting like these little boils on her face. What came out when they popped was little shards of glass. She didn't know this, but she'd been in a vehicle accident in her youth to the point where she didn't have a memory of it. And it came out and she had to talk to family and they're like, yeah, it was traumatic and like glass and everything. It was stored in her fascia and finally it came out. And she had just been having this chronic pain that one could describe. That's one example. But in my work, like in my trainings, I was doing cupping with people and oh my God, the cup, first of all, people were having emotional releases and all sorts of things. And one of my partners had been like she had more weight. Now she's a bodybuilder, so she dropped a lot of weight. They did a skin removal surgery, so they cut like into her abdomen and we're like, okay, let's work on this scar. That was part of the training, is doing scar work with cupping. And so we were working on her scar, and then we're immediately after the treatment. Cups were not even that long. She's like, oh my God, I'm starting to taste something. And I was like, what? And she's like, no, wait a minute. It's not a taste. My tongue is going numb. We pulled the instructor over, who's like the leader in this field of cupping. She does all the books, all the education. So she reads all the research. She's part of the research too, spearheading it. So she's like phenomenal that we even got her as an instructor. And she comes over and she's like, oh yeah, did you have a surgery there? And she's like, yeah, like over 10 years ago. And she's like, that's the anesthetic. It got released from the fascia. The fascia had been holding on to it. She's like, yeah, this happens all the time with surgical scars. There have been stories where people stop smoking 15 years prior. They get cupping and they start to taste tobacco, like the nicotine. And it's coming out. So that stuff gets stored in our body. So I don't know why I would talk about this. It's so fun and nerdy. But it comes up because I think about how freaking amazing our bodies are. And this whole idea of holiness, sacredness, the magical unknowingness is what I think about those words. It's like, it just puts me in a state of mind-blowing awe all the time. And we go through life shaming our body and say, oh, this hurts and that hurts. And we get down on ourselves. And it's like your body's doing what it's designed to do, to protect. It holds on to that stuff to protect the other systems of the body. And then because we haven't up to this point labeled and given enough credit to this fascial body system, for example, that we don't treat it, we don't study it, it's just the there-ness. And so we don't know how to help it heal itself until now. Now we do. And so we can be gentle with it. It loves gentle, slow, elongated work. It's like we can treat, that's like the part of our body that is the most protective. And it's like the most tender. And it wants the most love. So it's like, I think about fascia. It's like, you've done so good for so long. Let's treat you gently and let you heal yourself. Because the body knows how to heal itself if we get out of the way and just give it the space. Give it the tools it needs, like maybe soft hands, awareness, gentleness, right? So, oh man, I could go on and on. But that's what this lesson made me think of. Is like, whatever the title was like, yeah, let me just treat it with tenderness and be in awe of it instead of shaming it, instead of ignoring it, instead of blaming it for why I don't feel good, instead of letting it be gaslit by our Western medical system. I have people, I think about my clients with fibromyalgia. Like, what if fibromyalgia was just a full body, like trauma response? It's got your whole fascial system, head to toe, has gone into such a deep protective mode that it's like it flares up in these ways that say, please pay attention to me. Please be gentle. I just want to heal. I've protected you for so long. I'm still protecting you. Help. And then people are like, we don't know how to treat you. Just, you're always going to be in pain. So, I think he's up. Okay, I'm back. So that's what this lesson made me think of, was just how we don't have to know everything. We don't have to know anything about how things work, about why this is here, what it's doing. Sometimes we can just sit and be in reverence of it and get soft with it. And it'll speak to us and say, here's what I need.